Alright, what's happening, Cat family? Today we're going to talk about taking risk, why we had to take risk, and why taking risk is better than being complacent and having complacency. Let's get right into it. So, we have to take risk in life. Like, whatever it is we're doing, you got to take risk. Everybody says, oh yeah, we got to take risk, we got to take risk, we got to take risk. But you got to take calculated risks. What type of risk are you going to take for you to be better? For you to put yourself in a better position in life? Meaning, like, in order to gain a new life, you got to leave your old life behind. And how do you do that? You got to leave old habits, old people, old ideas, everything. You got to leave those old things in order to grow. And to take risks, you got to be like, okay, I'm going to do this and take the risk. And you got to live with the risk that you're taking. Don't just take a risk to take a risk. You got to be a calculated risk. That's the proper word. Take a calculated risk. Because later on, you're going to be like, okay, I'm glad I took this risk. Instead of me being complacent about where I'm at right now and living a life of complacency. Because you don't want to live with regrets. Nobody doesn't like the feeling of having a regret of not being their fullest self, of being the best version of themselves that they could possibly be. You feel me? I think in order for that to happen, you got to be able to take risks that's uncomfortable and things that's abnormal to the norm of what people say that's normal. Because at some point, whatever was considered normal was abnormal. At some point, before we had electronics, it was abnormal to touch a phone, to have an iPhone that's a touch screen. So in order for that to happen, they had to take a risk. You got to take a risk for something to be normal. So I'm just speaking in general sense. I'm not speaking in literal sense. Like, that's a broad. That's what I mean by that. So, like, I'm walking around New York on my way to this job, but on top of that, it's just like I had to take a risk. You gotta take a risk. I had to take a risk to get out of my comfort zone, out of my regular habits, in order for me to grow, in order for me to be better. And the benefits of that is that you have a story to tell. You have things that you could tell people from off of your experiences. And experience is the best teacher, as they always say. So use that experience that you have from you taking a risk and having these downfalls and all these failures. Like, those failures are just the experiences of somebody else, of what they can prevent from happening or how they can be better. So it's like you gotta constantly take risks, calculated risk. Constantly take calculated risk. I'm trying to be very specific, so somebody can't be like, I'm taking risks, but nothing's happening. You got to take calculated risk. That's the thing. You got to take a calculated risk. Also, with that, being complacent, you stay stagnant. Oh, I can go? For sure. But, like, you can't be complacent with how you do things. So when you're complacent, you live a life of complacency, you stay stagnant. There's no growth in there. There's no benefit in that. Really, the only benefit is that you stay the same and you're comfortable. There's no story in being comfortable. There's no story in none of that. There's nothing in that. So the best way to take risk is understanding, okay, what's the benefit of me taking this risk? What is the downside of taking the risk? And also seeing it from all angles of, why would I be taking this risk? I'll go this way. Why would I be taking this risk? So it's just, you have to really calculate and analyze what you want to do in this world, man. Everything is possible. Anything. You just got to be able to take risks, be comfortable in your own skin, and understand that it's you versus you, and anything that you want is always there. For real. And the key for today is understanding calculated risk. Calculated risk is better than no risk at all. It's better than complacency. Let me rephrase that. Calculated risk is better than complacency any time of the day. But yeah, that's all for today, and see you on the next video.